all in all, I think we're looking at double-digit improvements.
The thing is, try to think about when you're doing a hard interval, 8 to 10 watts more. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's impossible. I could
Right.
not have done that.
8 to 10 watts faster than last year is a big. That'd be a big physiological improvement.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. We're now 3 weeks out from Oceanside, which is our first triathlon of the season. So getting down to be a little bit of crunch time, but this is potentially one of the more exciting things that we'll do all year outside of racing, and that's going to the wind tunnel. I've never been to the wind tunnel before, so I think even a little more excited than Paula is. I think it's like a great opportunity for me to potentially go faster than I've been going at the same power.
Before we get on the road, we are meeting up with our friend Sam here in Bend to discuss something that's super cool going on with TTL, and that is the creation of the TTL development team. For a long time now, we've wanted to do something to give back to the sport in this way, and we thought the best thing that we could do is give a little bit of mentorship, a little bit of financial support to a few aspiring pro triathletes and help them make the jump from amateur to stable professional. We're both super psyched on it, and we really hope that it will actually make a difference.
Do you think packing the bikes will take a long time? Third. Well, the first time I was on a road bike racing ITU, so it was a different kind of trip. And then last time I had the Shiv Tri, so I'd had it for like a month. I wasn't really comfortable on it yet. I didn't have a bunch of options for the front end, but it was still an amazing experience, and we did get into like an okay position that I rode for a bit and like adjusted as we went. But I feel like this trip, we're just in a way better position, like literally and figuratively, to make adjustments. I'm already comfortable on my bike, so I feel like that's a good launching off point to be like, okay, I'm good on it. I'm not going there like desperate for a magic bike fit that's gonna transform everything. It's like looking for marginal gains now, seeing how I can get more comfortable and faster ultimately, because like I proved last year that I was already really fast on the bike, and I like the bike, I'm comfortable on the bike, but now we can go with a few different options for front ends and see what's like the absolute fastest position.
All right, I'm on filming duty. Eric's on bike packing duty. And we got these really sweet bike bags that hardly require any disassembly. One's a Sycon, and one is the Evoc Bike Bag Pro.
It is a pretty packed schedule. Day one is going to be more focused on the bike fitting and the metabolic testing, and I think day two is going to be a little more focused on aero testing.
I think on the first day we're doing like retool fits. The guy that's flying in, Jason, he's actually from Boulder, and he came to Bend a few years ago to fit me because he's like one of the best fitters at Specialized, and we really trust him, we really liked him, and he's generously offered to fly out to Morgan Hill to help us. So the first day we'll be fitting with him, doing some metabolic testing to see the differences in like how low you go and how that affects your return on energy and power and stuff like that. Yeah, our coach Paula is coming. He actually coaches a lot in Portugal but lives in San Francisco, so it's a quick drive to Morgan Hill.
What's up? You came prepared.
I just dressed up for the occasion.
I'm really glad he's gonna be there. We've done a lot of fitting stuff with him over like, you know, just filming videos in our garage and sending back and forth to him. He's really good at bike fit stuff. He's really interested in it and smart with it. So having him there as a second set of eyes to give feedback and use like, you know, his knowledge and expertise at it will be really cool as well.
So our fits are already pretty much dialed, but this guy, Jason, who we're going to see, he is really a really great fitter, and I actually haven't been fit on the Shiv yet. I've matched over my numbers from my bike from last year, done a little bit of fine tuning, I've put on shorter cranks, and it feels great, but it never hurts to get in front of the eyes of an expert and see what they have to say.
Okay, Eric. What did we change on the bike so far?
So based on all the retooled numbers and everything and how crunched I was like very bent over. My hip angle was very closed, and just some issues with my hips because of my labrum situation. We brought my saddle up like 5 millimeters. We made my elbow pads wider, increased the tilt, and brought the front end up 2 centimeters. And that has like really gotten me into the ranges. I feel very comfy, and apparently so look okay.
Yeah. Does it surprise you that you brought the front end up?
No, well, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't have said I was like as slammed as the numbers say I am.
I see.
But I'm not opposed to it. It feels really good, and if it tests fast in the tunnel tomorrow, then
It's a win-win.
win.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm riding a mountain bike.
Oh, what are you eating?
Bananas.
Banana.
Day 2 is all about the wind tunnel. So both Eric and I are gonna get in there, and we have like 4 really specific things we wanna test, so yeah.
Before we head to the tunnel in the morning, they've given us a little bit of extra time. We're not starting at, crack of dawn or anything. I think we'll scope out local coffee scene and maybe get in a swim or, something before we head over to the tunnel.
Last time Eric was riding a different bike brand, so he didn't get to do any testing, and it was just me in the wind tunnel, and it really took a full day. So I think it sounds like a lot of time to all go in the wind tunnel, but I think we're gonna have to be pretty efficient and move through things fast so that we can both have enough time to work things out. But we have a good plan in our minds of what we want to test, so we're not going in totally, unknown of what we're doing. So I think that'll help us to be really organized.
Things that I'm most interested in testing is really just the front end, where the aero bars are gonna go. Am I gonna play around with a little bit of tilt? Am I gonna kind of go wider or narrower with the arms? Where's the best place to put a bottle? And then I have like 3 or 4 different helmets that I wanna try out. We're gonna try out both of the specialized TT helmets. I'm gonna try out the Giro and the Rudy project that I raced in last year and find out what's the best and where can I hold my head that's sustainable and the most aerodynamic.
Yeah.
All right, so basically what we did was we tested your base bar position 7 times, and we tested arrow positions 2 times in each of 3 different stack heights.
Yeah.
So we'll talk it through with her after she gets done her baseline. So we've converted your metabolic results into mechanical power. So you can read this as
Watts up or watts down.
watts up, watts down, exactly. And in this case, what's interesting is going to your last year's position or your previous stack height actually was potentially slightly beneficial. It's also maybe a little bit more familiar position, right?
It's like
results.
difference of like not even 5 watts.
Less than 5 watts, because there's some adaptation to the stack height of last year's pad height that your body is very familiar with that, and you may be just able to settle in and produce power there. The retool data would indicate that up 2 centimeters may have some benefit for you. Your flexibility and physical assessment would say up 2 centimeters would be a benefit. So I think there's several indicators that the slightly higher pad position is good, but if we go too far, I think that there probably is a penalty by doing that.
It's
So our change from baseline here is we're just increasing the tilt.
increasing the tilt of the extensions, and this would sort of put us out of the UCI regulations, but let us really push the, the aero benefit.
Okay, just so I have it for the record, what has happened is Paula's fastest ultimate position is going to be the Watt Shop bars, slightly lower than what we have right now. We just need to get custom risers made for them. The current fastest thing that we tested was her stock position. It just allows us to get a little bit lower than the Watt Shop bars. So Watt Shop extensions are arrow, but we just need to get them lower.
Same helmet too.
Oh, and the helmet. If you use the UCI legal sock helmet,
Is that
For
the
your-
technical name?
yeah, that is faster, but probably not gonna be able to put it on during a triathlon. Just use that for going to Canadian Time Trial Championships again.
All right, what are we doing here, Eric? We're raising it just a tiny bit, 1 centimeter.
Yeah, basically there's not like a huge aero benefit of me being lower. We're just like kind of striking the middle ground between the 2 centimeter higher position that theoretically on retool looks like more powerful long term, but
And you felt a little bit better, a little bit up.
yeah, it felt like slightly more relaxed. Potentially, if I were to try to hold that position for 2 hours at full race pace, might be a little more comfortable.
Okay, day done.
Final wrap up here. We kept pretty much all the fitting stuff the same. As far as like how I'm different than last year, I went from having a pretty flat arm position to I'm more up here like this. That's pretty much across the board considered to be faster. I switched from the Rudy Project helmet to the Giro helmet. That saved a few watts. And yeah, instead of being a little more stretched out, brought things in here a little bit. That saved a few watts. So all in all, I think we're looking at double-digit improvements.
That's good stuff.
Which is pretty sweet. And I feel pretty comfortable overall, like with the fit stuff that we did too.
More
So
comfortable than you were before?
I would say I feel a little bit more comfortable. It's just going to be whether or not I can do that like relaxing kind of thing out on the road or not. It's hard to say when you're in here cold and pushing like 100 watts on the
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
The thing is, try to think about when you're doing a hard interval. Try to think about the end of that hard interval, telling yourself, okay, now you would have had to do 8 to 10 watts more. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's impossible. I could
Right.
not have done that.
8 to 10 watts faster than last year is a big, that'd be a big physiological improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now just having like total peace of mind. You don't have to be like, oh, I wonder if this, or
Right.
whatever. Now I know.
Right.
Yeah, success.
You know, a few watts of savings, 5-10 watts faster at the same power output. I mean, at this point in my career, those are watts like that are hard to come by. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that I think is a benefit working with Specialized this year is the infrastructure that they have and the support that they have to put behind athletes. Like in the wind tunnel is probably the biggest thing that they have, the biggest advantage. We can go down there anytime we need, really, tweak our position, fine tune it, and get everything that we can out of the hard work that we've put into our bodies and be the fastest athletes we can be. Super cool.